Overwatch on release took over the market to become the most popular game on the said market, and it was declared Game of the Year. But in doing so, they took down the former most popular hero shooter, Team Fortress 2, who had been around for 9 years. 9 years after Overwatch's initial release, Marvel Rivals is here. It is new, fresh, and fun, unlike Overwatch to most people, which has grown stale over the past couple months. If Overwatch doesn't deliver with their next big update, the game is probably in some trouble. This is the truth of the state of both games currently, but when you actually play them, which one is better? Marvel Rivals may be more exciting and fresh than the stale Overwatch, but is this the new toy syndrome? Or is Rivals legitimately the one successor to the hero shooter genre? Hey guys, my name is Cassell, and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be discussing the topic of Rivals vs Overwatch. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let's just get right into it. The easy cop-out answer to this question is that it is subjective, meaning that whatever you personally find more fun is the correct answer. Although this is technically true, I don't like this answer that much, as it is apparent that there are objective ups and downs to both games, and by weighing these ups and downs, you can better see which game is superior in your eyes. One of the games will get more viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and also make more money. So yes, we can celebrate both games and enjoy the competition as both companies strive to make the best quality game. We can also have one we think is objectively better and root for that one being our favorite, because we think it has more objectively more benefits. As I said earlier, one will get all the glory of viewers and money, so don't you want that to be the better game? So let's start with the pros and cons of Marvel Rivals, as it's the newer one and currently the far more popular one. The most obvious pro in Marvel Rivals is the ease for casual fun. The open queue format is designed for this, as it gets rid of the longer queues that happen not only for DPS, but if you play support or tank, the queues decrease as well, because you may be higher priority, but are still only allowed 4 open spots per game instead of 12 for an open queue game. Another thing about open queue is that it's easier to get in and get out. Instead of the time you have to think about, select, and confirm your role, you just press the queue button and you get into the game, and your team will figure out their roles later. For a casual player, this is key. They are less focused on winning, but more playing the game, so the less time spent between queues and selecting the roles, the better. If that means they have to play a low quality game of 4 to 5 DPS, then so be it. Another thing is balanced philosophy. Marvel Rivals has clearly leaned into fun rather than pure balance, which the open queue format is perfect for. The philosophy of fun first before competitive balance has led to fun, powerful characters, or not so powerful characters, like Mr. Fantastic, Punisher, and Spider-Man, who have kits designed to fulfill the hero fantasy and promote fun rather than balance. As from an objective view, none of them are perfect. Mr. Fantastic is almost universally ranked as D, and is only used for the team up between him and Invisible Woman. Punisher is just mid and outclassed by most other hit scan characters like Hela, Namor, and Hawkeye. Spider-Man is balanced and has a place in the metagame, but it's just too hard to learn for to be a character that is frequently picked. However, this is where we get into the trick up their pocket. Hero bans. With hero bans, you band-aid solve most of the problems of balance and open queue that this game would have. Because you're going for fun rather than balance, certain characters will most likely be exceptionally broken. For example, Hela and Hawkeye, and the newly buffed Wolverine. But you can solve that by just banning them. Because of this, you open up spots for not only heroes they outclassed, but heroes they countered. Iron Man was hated on release, but was quickly looked much better on as his counters became bannable, with people getting into the higher ranks for the first time. Hero bans also solve one of open queue's main issues being sustain stack, or also known as GOATs. This being triple tank, triple support, or triple support 2 tanks, 1 DPS. Now you can ban the broken supports and open up the ability for the DPS to actually kill things. Because let's be honest, triple support with Adam, Jeff, and Rocket Raccoon really going to be better than just running good DPS. But as I said earlier, this is a band-aid solution. First, it only applies in Diamond Plus, meaning everything below plays the same, where yes, it'll matter less, but if you play one of those better heroes, you may find it easier to rank up. Another thing is that because they are pandering to casuals, they can't do this in the lower ranks. The casual usually isn't past gold and just wants to play their own pool of heroes. If someone trying to run meta and they see that there is a lower Jeff on their team, they're probably going to try to ban him so he can play a better character, or at least that's possible. The Jeff player could then lose interest in the game as the only thing he wants to do is play Jeff anyway. You also can't ban everything, meaning if the good supports are banned, then Hela and Hawkeye are going to be picked, and vice versa. Also with ranked also being open queue, you'll get games with 4 to 5 DPS in many of the lower ranks, making games won or lost by people's desire to play the correct role, oftentimes, making the overall ranked experience subpar until Diamond. Next we get to microtransactions. Marvel Rivals has a pretty great system in place, as the rewards and skins in the Battle Pass are usually well made and worth it. It is also easy to complete, as the seasons are 3 months roughly. The 3 currencies can be confusing at first, but it balances out by the price. With $20 you can get the average skin and still have about half of the price of another skin. By the average skin I mean epic, as there are very few legendary skins currently, while every character has at least one epic skin in the item shop. Overall, I would say the pros of Marvel Rivals are appealing and very noteworthy, being as follows: fast queues, open queue, allowing for mid-game role swaps, emphasis on hero fantasy, hero bans, great shop prices, and balance for fun. But let's not forget about the cons, which I would say are as follows: open queue allowing chaos easily for both casual and lower ranked games, open queue allowing for support stack, characters not being balanced, and overall less focus on a fair game. Overwatch was all of these and more on launch, not even including ranked on launch, and neither including hero limits. However, over the almost decade the game has changed to become the exact opposite. After being stuck between the casual and competitive sides for a while, they finally turned to competitive. Most obvious pro is the ability to have fair, intense matches. Rollock for even quick play demonstrates that while you may not want to sweat for a 15-minute ranked game, you still want order and guaranteed playability. After all, it's also easy to see that games are more fun when things are more fair and consistent. They also do have open queue quick play if you still want faster queues. The default is ranked, of course, Rollock as well, and while there is open queue, ranked too, nobody seriously good plays it, and also the game just isn't balanced for it. Now let's get to said balance. As much as it is funny to meme on Overwatch for things like Mauga, Widowmaker, and Sombra, let's be honest here, the game is well balanced. Since the last major incident of Mauga, the game has been in a pretty well balanced state with hiccups here and there, but let's be honest, what game doesn't? Most recent incident, Hazard, has gotten repeated nerfs over the 2 months and is set up to be a fun and well balanced hero to be enjoyed. And more importantly, he wasn't even an easy hero to be abused in the first place, being mostly complained about by Masters Plus players. Another thing, just because you can't hit a Moira or go 8 seconds without peeking a Bastion in turret form, doesn't mean they're broken. Like even formerly mid characters aren't even that bad anymore. Tor, Bastion, and even occasionally Lifeweaver and Symmetra have their roles in the higher ranks. Legitimately, aside from absolute pro play, you can get away with almost anything in Overwatch, from bronze until champ in the ranked ladder. Obviously, there are still better characters than others, like I won't sit here and say Mercy and Lifeweaver are good heroes, but in terms of broken factor, besides Widowmaker, who has literally always been a problem for the game, there's not much to talk about. Let me emphasize this. The heroes are exactly the same across all ranks. What changes is your, and less importantly, your teammate's skill level. Counterwatch could also be brought up as a counter-argument, but to be honest, the main problem of Counterwatch is not pure balance, but rather mindset, as being only focused on their tank is rarely the solution, and adjusting your playstyle as on the hero you're currently on is often the better, more skillful approach. But that topic is for another day. Returning to Rollock, we look to the queue times, and to be honest, they aren't even that bad. A tank or support queue is rarely above a minute 30, and DPS is rarely above 3 minutes, which considering guaranteed higher match quality isn't so bad. However, I can see how this is a bit too much for the average casual person, as the whole point is fun, and sitting in a queue isn't very fun. Rolelock does, however, always allow you to play your intended role and hero more often, because instead of being forced to flex because of your whole team playing DPS, you can just queue with people who will flex for you, essentially. This leads to you being able to play what you want more often. In contrast, Rolelock does provide less match variety. Instead of it being a constant role shuffle throughout the match, you know what composition the enemy will have, which could lead to the feeling of the game getting stale for most. Another thing is the lack of hero fantasy. Overwatch lore has become increasingly stale and watered down over the years. An example that defines this is Sigma. Sigma was given one of the coolest backstories ever and was the first Talon tank. However, no cinematic or comic has ever come from him, and he remains in the same place lore-wise. Many characters like Junkrat, Ana, Arisa, and others have lost part of their original selves over the years. Finally, let's get to microtransactions. Overwatch unfortunately doesn't deliver on those. The Battle Pass has 80 tiers worth of real rewards, and overall, just most of them are subpar. $20 will usually only let you buy one legendary skin, or not even sometimes, as they are grouped up with mini cosmetics in a bundle. Now overall, let's look at the pros of Overwatch. Rolelock leading to guaranteed match quality for casual and ranked play. Balanced for competitive play, meaning nothing is abnormally broken for too long of a time. Rolelock allowing you to always be able to pick your intended role and hero fantasy for your hero. And finally, easier time winning with your favorite character because of balance. Overwatch's cons are longer queue times, less focus on hero fantasy, less match variety, and high shop prices. Alright, I think I've laid out most of what makes these games good and bad now. But what is my verdict? I believe it depends on how you play video games. If you find competition more fun and being the best, then I think in Overwatch you can find more fun. Its overall less volatile matches give a higher average level of competition, and its higher level of balance gives you closer games and more fair games. In contrast though, casual players will lean into Rivals as it is balanced for fun rather, and emphasizing hero fantasy, while also sticking with the faster queues and mid-game role swapping ability of open queue. So I think the answer boils down to your playstyle. Me personally, I like Overwatch a little better. I enjoy when people take it seriously, and I can get guaranteed quality in a game. However, Rivals is also a great game in many ways, and offers unique things Overwatch lacks. I love both games, but for me, I want Overwatch to be on top. Now, will that actually happen? We'll see, because now that there's danger on the doorstep, maybe they'll finally wake up and bring us the new content that the game has been lacking for quite a while. Both games benefit from each other because of the competition, and that is overall good for us, as they will strive to make the best product. There's definitely more than what I have said, so go get out and play both, as you can make that decision for yourself. Overwatch will have a massive update soon with Season 15, and Rivals will have the Thing and the Human Torch out soon with their mid-season patch, so make sure to enjoy both games. Thanks for watching this far, make sure to like and subscribe, go to my Twitch in the bio, and have a great day.